and just raise your hand, and they'll bring them over.
Hi, I'm Alfie Perez, and I thought your introduction was kind of interesting because paintings were always designed to lie and distort reality too. And when photographs first came in, they were attempt to have a more accessible, easier process than painting. So I assumed just like paintings were lying, the early photographers wanted to do some painterly lying. But so it makes perfect sense to me that the line was there from the beginning of photography. But what I wanted to go back was to the title of this discussion, which was obsolescence of photography as an object. And my viewpoint is sort of like we're in an environment where physical things are ubiquitous, whether it be clothing or reproducing sound or reproducing images. I mean, images are everywhere. So people don't even pay that much attention to the bombardment of everyday images around them. And when you're out in the street, if you notice what grabs your attention, image, it's some new way of presenting an image, usually. For instance, you were talking about whether it makes sense to have prints in the gallery. Well, I'm sure if somebody took an object and actually put the object on the table, and then they surrounded it with different ways to different photographers and filmmakers and videographers and people like that presented or captured or recreated the image, people would come to see. If someone said, well, we're going to have advanced holographic imagery of a new kind, the line would be around the block. I know that 3D came back big again because it was in IMAX, and that was in a way an attempt to get out of the frame and make it more like actual everyday experience. You talked about that screens give off light. Well, someone could have a book and it could be day glow paints or phosphorescent glow in the dark book, and it'll give off light too in the dark or with a black light. So I mean, people are always trying to find ways to get around these limits and boundaries and to give us some kind of new experience. I mean, I think we're entering into a period where it's not about the object, it's about the quality and attention grabbingness of an experience. And I think any image of any kind that can be put out that sort of like grabs people's attention and gives them kind of experience that they haven't had or that they couldn't have before, people will pay attention. I'm sure if I was a photographer and I photographed the books of just nothing but people's tongues and lips close up, there'd be a lot of people looking at that book of tongues and lips, just to give a wild example, you know what I mean? Because nobody has, that I know of anyways, even though there might be one, has a book that's nothing but close-up photographs of tongues and lips. So, people would say, oh, did you see this crazy book? And they'd go out and they'd look at it. I mean, the same thing happened with music. We entered sampling where any sound can be captured and endlessly reproduced electronically. So now we're in the age of experimenting with how we do sampling. Well, I think the same thing's going to happen with, and is happening with images. So I just want your reaction to what I'm throwing out.
All right, thanks. Thank you.